Okay, so you just got the phone call and you have a showing in 15 minutes. What are you going to do?
I feel panic.
I feel excited because we're going to sell your house. All right, so what you want to do, if you only have a 15-minute window before showing, you want to make sure that you are as prepared for this as you are fire drill. We want everybody in the family, whether it's one person or 10 people, everyone's going to have a job that they know ahead of time. So that might be one person's in charge of the kitchen and one kid's in charge of the bathrooms. Everybody knows ahead of time what they're in charge of. That's very important.
I think it's also a great time to use those inexpensive laundry baskets in each room, because guess what? Each room can be thrown into the laundry basket, anything that didn't get picked up, and put in the car to go with you, and it looks clean.
Yeah, I mean, you can just go in the kids' rooms and start scooping up whatever's on the floor and just throw in the basket. I love that idea.
Even those things I do scoop up, a lot of times I re-wrap up for Christmas. I put them away, I don't give them back. It's a great money saver.
So we're not only selling your house, we're also preparing you for Christmas. So no, in all reality, everyone needs a task, and I would really focus a lot of your time on your kitchens and bathrooms, because that is what people are really interested in, and those are the rooms that you probably live a lot in, so they're probably some of the dirtier ones in your whole house, to be honest. So some things that I would consider is making sure everything is either swept and vacuumed, for sure. If you can see those lines in the carpet, that's awesome. Annette loves to put everything in her car. She takes all of her baskets out and then runs back in and sprays down all the countertops.
I just think it leaves a good smell, and it also looks nice and shiny.
Speaking about smells, let's talk about that for a second. You want to stay away from any of the Scentsies or wax burners, any of the plug-ins that you might have, because those are a little overwhelming for buyers, especially if they're not used to that smell. Sometimes people can even be a little bit allergic or sensitive to scents, and you don't want that. As real estate agents, we understand that those smells and scents and candles can actually sometimes be covering up a problem, and that's the last thing you want to put in your buyer's mind. So if you're going to want any kind of scent, I would highly suggest using fabric dryer sheets. I love them because they smell nice and fresh. A lot of times it just smells like a clean house, not necessarily like you're trying to cover something. And there's so many different things that you can do with dryer sheets.
You can dust with them. That was one of the best suggestions you gave me. You can stuff them in your shoes. We have a drop zone where you walk in and the shoes are, and Kelly was like, just stuff some dryer sheets in them, and it smells so much better.
Yes, so my kids are always like, why do I have dryer sheets in my shoes? Well, it's because your shoes stink.
I also like fresh air. So when I get that call, if I don't have my dog's taken care of, I will leave the front door, the back door open, and even throw open my kitchen window just while I'm getting everything cleaned up. It just gets that fresh air in. It gets everything moving. So you get that kind of just...
And it puts a good energy in your house too, just like that moving air. It always just feels good. If it's wintertime and you're not really able to open windows or anything, one of my favorite tricks is to take a few dryer sheets and actually just stick them in the vents on your floors. Because that allows that warm air, it blows through the dryer sheets, and it just gives that nice fragrance of fresh laundry. So that is definitely something you want to consider when you're thinking about smells. Now, the rooms that I feel like need the most is the kitchen. I want to make sure that you don't have as much stuff on your tops of your cabinets as maybe you would when you were living there normally. Making sure that there's not any food left in the trash. That can, one, smell bad, but it's just kind of and it takes away from the house. It makes their focus go on the nasty trash smell and not on your kitchen.
And if your trash cans are in the garage, I encourage people to move them outside. And then I love, in this case, the Febreze garbage sacks, and just because you can take the trash out, get it outside so it's not a smell anybody's gonna smell, and then put that Febreze trash bag in, and all of a sudden it just helps everything.
Yep. And let's talk pets.
This is the hardest part. I have a dog that runs away, so trust me, I'm feeling you when you have to deal with this.
Yes. So if you have an animal that has to stay inside, like a cat, a lot of times cats don't like to go for car rides. If you're gonna leave it in the house, but you're concerned about it getting out, I would either put it in a kennel or a cat caddy, or make sure you have signs up. If you're afraid your cat might get outside, you need to make sure there's some sort of sign on the front door or any back door, any door outside that you do not want that cat to get out.
The one thing about pets, I am a huge pet lover, and I can tell you that people are often allergic. So if you can get your pets out, that is always choice number one. Choice number two is always a kennel. That keeps them safe and everyone safe around them. And even if they are kenneled or they're gone, remember their food, remember their cat litter, remember all of that. All of that should have, it should have a little pet box that everything's coming with you. Because ideally, we'd love for people not to even know a pet lived there.
Yes. So water bowls, food bowls, you might not have to take it with you, but put it underneath your sink. Take all your toys, no trace. The last idea that I have for what to do with your pets is just talk to your realtor. If you say, I have 2 dogs and this showing's during the day and I can't get away from home to put them up, ask your realtor to go put them in the kennel, or ask your realtor to go take them for a walk during the showing. I've had plenty clients ask me to do that, and I've never had a problem doing that.
And I have older kids, so they love to do it. So it's one of their favorite things. There's also great pet daycares. And when you're in a move, for me, that was really helpful because he got used to a pet daycare because we had to do a rental. We had some interim things. So it just kind of was his preparation of we were going to have some life changes.
The other thing that I always like to make sure is picked up is dirty clothes. It is just something that creates a lot of clutter, and I also think it takes buyers' attention away from a bedroom if there's all kinds of dirty clothes either in a corner or just laying around. So grab those dirty clothes, put them in one basket, put that basket in your car as well. And then I don't like to leave anything in the laundry either, just in case it starts to smell. I mean, the smells really do matter a lot.
I'm gonna confess that sometimes it doesn't all fit in my car, so I'll throw some clean laundry back in the dryer. I just turn the dryer on.
Okay, I'll let that one slide. Maybe dirty dishes in the dishwasher too. Okay.
I'm not quite the same caliber as Kelly. So
back, you have 15 minutes back to kind of summarizing what we think you should do is pets and pet evidence gone. Dirty clothes gone. We're going to do a light smell. We're going to vacuum and sweep floors. We're going to do a real quick pickup in each room. And then I would also suggest making sure your pillows on your couches and stuff are all just nice and neat. You really just want it to feel picked up and kept. One thing I really like to make sure that is deep cleaned before you even get your showings is doorways, hallway walls where kids love to run their fingers. And one thing that I hear a lot of feedback about are baseboards. And I think this is something that gets overlooked a lot when you're preparing your house for the market, is if your baseboards are really scuffed or damaged, I would look at either getting new or just going through and giving them a really good solid scrubbing. Because for some reason, and I don't know why, but buyers pay attention to it, and that makes them feel like maybe the house is just a little too beat up. When they are seeing that evidence throughout the house.
And if you have painted baseboards, you can repaint it pretty quickly. If you have stains, you can use an Old English and you just rub it on, and it really works quickly and easily.
Yeah, I like Old English. I love liquid gold. Liquid gold is my favorite.
That one is my favorite.
However, I will say it does have a really strong smell. So if you're going to do that, I would do that a few days before going on the market, so that way maybe the smell can dissipate a little bit.
So when you're thinking about listing your home, some of those things are what you want to do. And then you want to make sure you have plenty of baskets or things that you can load into the car in a process. So if you have a trunk, make sure the baskets all fit with some things in them. Make sure we have a place for the dog and all of those things before. So that way, when we get the call and Annette's panicked and Kelly's excited, you're all ready to go.
And I would also encourage you to get a copy of the photos that your real estate agent took, because you do kind of want your house to look like those photos. So no rearranging furniture after the photos are taken and stuff, because you don't want people to walk in and be like, this isn't the house we saw on the internet.
Or if you need to watch TV, just slide it back before you leave. There's those great furniture sliders, so just keep those on it.
All right, guys, that is our tips for showing your house in a short amount of time. I hope that was helpful.